Hey guys, what up? It's your boy ShakyBay. Welcome to my Musa guide for 2022, where I am going to cover everything you need to know about Awakening and Succession. There will be timestamps down below, so feel free to skip around through the video with whatever you need to know. This video will be good for both veterans and new players to the class. If you have any questions, feel free to follow me on Twitch, join my community Discord, and follow me on Twitter. Feel free to ask any questions about Musa in those socials. I will always be happy to answer any question you guys have about Musa. We are going to be discussing some frequently asked questions. We'll talk about some gear, guide, crystals, skill build, Rabams. We're going to talk about add-ons for PvP and PvE. We'll talk about your hotbar, your movement, cancels, low-end PvE, high-end PvE, PvP engages, PvP combos, the neutral meta for Musa, and we'll talk about a little bit of some matchups, like what matchups you might have in your favor, what you might lose to, and we'll cover that for both Succession and Awakening, as this video will serve as the only guide you're ever going to need for Musa. So without further ado, enjoy. Now, I'm going to pretty much answer what you guys are all wondering before I say anything. What is better, Awakening Musa or Succession Musa? Well, let's go ahead and talk strictly PvE really quick, as the answer is very simple. In terms of PvE, Succession Musa is flat out better. Currently, Awakening Musa sits in the middle of the pack as of me posting this video. However, Succession Musa is pulling some insane trash. Succession Musa is definitely currently an S tier grinder. It is pulling phenomenal trash. It has great pulling capability. So when it comes to grinding, guys, I recommend you guys check out the Succession Musa portion for PvE, as it is currently pulling the most trash, and it is very well comparable to the other S tier grind. As for PvP, it's a little bit more complicated. I believe at the highest ceiling of skill level for both Musa, Awakening, and Succession, both are fantastic. They're both in a very good spot. In terms of difficulty, I will tell you that Awakening at the low end ceiling is going to be much easier to master, but at the high end ceiling, Succession Musa is going to be much tougher to learn. And it pretty much goes the same for Awakening Musa as well. Awakening Musa as well also has a very high skill ceiling. In terms of 1v1, I will tell you that Awakening Musa is a little bit more versatile. However, Succession Musa offers the better neutral gameplay because of it being quicker. The other big advantage in 1v1 with Succession Musa is the fact that it has very high accuracy. Succession Musa has some of the most accuracy in the game. In terms of 1v1, they're both very good. Succession Musa might help you if you're fighting an evasion target. If we are talking strictly large scale, Awakening Musa is much easier to handle, and it definitely frags out. Succession Musa can also frag out, however it will be a little tougher. As far as it goes, guys, in terms of large scale, I fully believe you should play whatever is more comfortable for you. Both Awakening and Succession Musa are completely viable right now. And if you want to ask me personally, I am currently very happy with the state of Succession and Awakening Musa in terms of large scale. They're both fantastic. Play whatever you guys would like. So guys, if you guys are brand new to the game, this is going to serve as your early game gear guide. If you are a new player to the game, I recommend doing the seasonal server and going for this gear right here. Now you guys are going to be able to get these pen accessories for free throughout the seasons. If not, these are pretty much tied accessories. You can purchase them off the market or make them. It's rather cheap nowadays. And pretty much, if you are not doing seasons, what Tuvala items are is Tet DR. When you're beginning into the game, go damage reduction. There is no point to go evasion if you're Tet. It doesn't make any sense. As far as your artifacts go for PvP, your main evasion set is going to be the all evasion leashes artifacts. They drop from Kadri's. And you want to go with the set effect called Blur. You get about 56 all evasion and you get 23 DR. However, you are going to lose 80% resistance, as you guys can see right here. With the reboots being into the game, we are currently in a permanent super armor meta, so you really don't need the resistance. Honestly, if you're getting CC'd on a Musa, especially Awakened Musa, you messed up. You don't need the res. What you need is the tank stats for your SA trading, because Musa does not have a lot of iframes, and behind our evasion stat, minus the evasion, We are a squishy class, so if anyone has the accuracy to hit us, Musa will explode essentially. You need to go with this side effect. There is no other side effect you should be using. Now, I will talk about multiple builds into the later stages of the game, but this will serve as your intro to the game. This is now going to serve as the mid-game gear guide for the Musa. At this stage of the game, you guys need to flow like water. Do not limit yourself to one build, otherwise you are setting yourself up for failure. Do not do that. And I will explain why in a minute. So we're going to be looking at multiple artifact builds for the mid-game gearing guide. I will be telling you guys about the split gear path you guys can choose with the metas changing currently, and the difference between what you need to build if you are maining Succession or Awakening. Now off the get-go, if you are maining Succession Musa, you need to build an Often Tet at Pen. This is because you are able to get more brackets out of the Often. Number 2, Succession Musa has the most accuracy in the game, so something like having a Zarka is not going to do you any good because you are simply losing damage. Succession Musa has too much accuracy as is, so do not build a Zarka. If you are playing Awakening Musa, use a Zarka. You are literally inting if you're using an Often if you are maining Awakening Musa. So that is going to be the only difference you guys are going to see between the Succession and Awakening Musa build. That is the only difference. Everything else is the same. There are going to be 2 paths you guys can take, okay? Now, unfortunately, Garmoth does not account for the Musa evasion passive, so do account for what I'm telling you here. Now, C9 is very mid-game gear, so if we take a look at the stats with this build, and this is going to be with my evasion crystal setup, which I will be providing later in the video with a timestamp. We're going to look at the stats, okay? As you guys can see, with this current build, we are maintaining 1095 evasion. This does not count for our evasion passive. If you account for our evasion passive, you will almost be sitting at 1200 evasion. So, this is where the decision comes in, and this is going to be for you guys to decide, as I believe both are perfectly viable. Now, with artifacts being put into the game, and the fact that you have the Libresca helmet, and you have the Fallen God's armor, you can choose between going with Libers, or you can go with Pen Begs. As with going to Pen Begs, you will gain accuracy, and you are still an evasion build. It's very weird. It's a little bit of a different hybrid build that you would normally do, but this is something you guys can do on Musa. They're both gonna work. Me personally, I will be aiming for the off-meta hybrid build because it's gonna work very well. You're gonna be able to maintain Begs and 1200 plus evasion. It's gonna be pretty nice. So those are the 2 paths you guys can take with Musa at this level of gear. Now this is gonna be where I was talking about you guys need to start flowing like water, okay? Don't be that guy that sticks with one build and is too stubborn. You are basically doing it to yourself. You are going to die to so many people. You won't have an answer for a lot of players in the game. Currently, there are a few items you can obtain and should go out of your way to get at this level of gear that are very cheap, that are going to help you solve a lot of problems. When you're at this level of gear, if you are fighting an evasion meme, you need to invest into an ultimate Blackhorn Warrior Bow at Pen, as it gives 96 accuracy. With the current damage of reboots, having gear like this, if you're ever fighting a super duper evasion meme and you find you need it, this is going to help you a lot. Don't do the stupid thing where you're building churros and accuracy accessories at this level of low gear. You're just dropping brackets when most people run DR. It just makes no sense to do that. You're doing less damage. On the flip end, you want to also get the ultimate Whitehorn Warrior Bow to gain 124 evasion, used in certain scenarios as well. This is also a fantastic build you guys can consider. On top of that, I would recommend getting a Tet Centaur belt, as it is very cheap. For whatever case you need to DP meme, evasion works super well on Moose. Another thing to add, guys, is that when you guys are using your Blackhorn Warrior Bow for PvP, you guys can also consider grabbing accuracy artifacts as well to help give you that boost. So with the Blackhorn Warrior Bow, you're having 917 accuracy, which is actually a lot. You can actually kill a lot of players with that amount of accuracy in the game at this level of gear. Now, that doesn't even account for the fact that Awakening Musa has the Eradicate self buff. If you put the proper add-ons in, you account for your passive. You can give yourself a 19% extra hit rate. You can have almost 1100 accuracy just with that right there. And so a lot of people don't account for that. You add the artifacts in, you're well over 1100. So guys, we are going to be talking about my favorite build that I am going for. Again, this is not a hard cap build, but it's something that I want to go for. So I think one of the best builds that Musa is going to have is you're going to go hybrid. You're going to get try Lebreska, try Fallen God. You're going to get your double black stars. Just for the PvE grind speed, because it's more realistic, right? But we're going to have an ultimate Whitehorn Warrior bow for the, for the extra evasion. We're going to use bags for the accuracy. We're going to use 2 melee accuracy artifacts with the blur set effect. And your stats are pretty cracked. So if we account for our evasion passive, this is almost like 1300 evasion. We're like getting there. We account for the extra hit rate here. It's pretty juicy. I feel like this right here is going to check most players in the game. There's still going to be certain players you can't kill, which is why you want the extra offhands, of course, right? Like you got to have your Blackhorn Warrior bow. You still want to have, all evasion artifacts, right? It's about having the diversity. Just kind of like in League of Legends. You play League of Legends, one build will not work for everything, so you want to get as much as you can. But for our crystals, you guys want to go for evasion and with some accuracy stuff. So the best crystal build setup is going to be Jin Vipers and the gloves. You want to get Jin Glorious Crystal of Honor, special evasions for the evasion rate and the extra HP. You want to grab 2 Jin Harpias in the helmet. You want to get Hooms in the boots, Hooms in your Dandelion, 2 Corrupteds in your offhand, and you want 2 Alcars in your main hand. In terms of pure skill build, getting skill points these days is very easy. You guys got 3 spots you guys can farm them out at, okay? You can do Polys, which is over here. You can do Dark Crescents, which is right up here. Right in this pathway right here. You go up here, across, and over to the Dark Crescent spot. And of course, also got Sulfur Mines, which is also great for SP. There's nothing in this game where you need to have a certain skill build. Just literally get everything. In terms of locking things, really you only want to lock obviously your forward roll. In Awakening, I recommend locking Eradicate and hotbarring it. In terms of your bond skill, you want to use Fiery Crevice. No other bond skill is viable, of course, for our Rabams. Ultimate Musa Spirit, Quick Shot, and Storm Slash. In terms of add-ons, guys, this is going to be your PvE add-ons for the Musa. You guys can just go ahead and look at my screen, pause the video, and copy them. For Awakening PvP add-ons, you guys can just use these add-ons. Go ahead and copy my add-ons. Go ahead and pause the video, take a screenshot, whatever you need, just copy them. In terms of Succession Musa PvE, these are the add-ons I use. Go ahead and pause the video, take a screenshot, whatever you need. For your PvP add-ons, this is what I use. Go ahead and just copy it, pause the video, whatever you need. Alright guys, as far as your hotbar goes and any skill cooldown slots you guys might want to see, I like to have Dash Slash, Projection, Cyclone Slash, One Step Back, Storm Slash, Eradicate, Tiger Blade. For the skill cooldowns I like to see personally, I like to see Arrow Grapple, Chase, Evasive Stub, Stub Arrow, and our E-Buff obviously. Now the reason why we're putting Dash Slash into the hotbar is because you can do it from pre-awakening. Same thing with One Step Back. Cyclone Slash is there because you need it there, just throw that out for your projection. Also for projection, you guys can do it from pre-awakening as well with that hotbar. Also, we're locking Eradicate for the same reason. You want to lock it because it'll come out randomly during certain skill flows. Lock it, put on your hotbar, you're going to be hotbarring it. Let's go ahead and start looking into some movement for Musa now. This is going to be a whole section dedicated how to move around on Musa properly. Now, your basic movement is going to be Q block, chase, auto attack, Q block to cancel the chase. Your chase cancel should look like this, where you slash horizontally. If you do it improperly, it's going to look like that. And the result should be this. This is your basic movement in pre-awakening. Now, obviously, if you want to move really fast, just chase around, right? If you're moving, chase around. A tip I have for a lot of players, when I watch a lot of intermediate or just, you know, newer Musa players, they do this. So if you guys don't know, right now with the reboot, when you chase backwards, you go slower. So if you look here, how slow I go. If I chase forwards, I go quicker, right? What you guys need to start doing is stop utilizing back chase and start utilizing forward chase. So if you need to make distance, you have to just do this. Don't do this. Just literally do this. Just do this if you're trying to set up a like a CC in like situation, right? Like you're gonna back chase and, you know, obviously you're trying to just prime that for the back attack catch. But for the most part, if you're trying to make distance, make sure you position your camera in this fashion. Now I'm going to show you guys two tricks in one here. So when Musa chases, he consumes a lot of stamina. Now if there is too much stamina gain, let's say you're fighting a warrior or a Zerker that can really run you out of your stam, whereas those classes don't. What you can do is actually pop Tiger Blade, and you actually don't consume stamina while chasing. Another thing you can do is chase off of a hill, and you're going to spam forward C swap. So I'm going to do this right now. So you spam forward C swap, and you're in Tiger Blade, and you get the Tiger Blade buff. As you can see, I'm chasing very quick. This can also help you create some distance, and you know, you also have movement speed, attack speed, damage. It's pretty good. So only thing is you can't go in pre-awakening when you do this, but when you do, when it's over, just C swap, and you're good to go. So Tiger Blade can be used in that fashion. For non-stamina management on Musa, I would recommend using Fiery Angel on CD religiously to conserve your stamina. So when you're chasing around and that skill is up, just use it. Don't just sit on it. Make sure you always use it. It's going to keep that stamina in the long game. As your stamina goes back up when you cast that skill. Another thing to note is that we have a new skill with Arrow Grapple now, which actually leaps us forward, which you can also mouse move as an engage. A very good way to utilize it, I like to utilize it at least, is I do Shift F and then I do the Arrow Grapple. Also works nicely after debite, so for example, that's like a lot of movement, right? Also you can just kind of Q-block like this in pre-awakening. And if you want to create quite a bit of a distance, just, you know, F, Arrow Grapple away. Of course, you can also mouse move this as an engage. So let's say you're fighting a class that's a frontal guard based class. When they block like Musa, you kind of position yourself in this way. Let's say my target's right here. We're going to Arrow Grapple. I will position my mouse to move right here, and you will do something like that to hit their back, and then you'll just chase out and then do your combo. Another thing that's very important for movement is that you're going to need to know the infinite stamina mobility loop that Musa has. Now currently, while Musa did get some movement buffs, it's still currently very rough on being the quote-unquote fastest class in the game. Mainly because of the stamina issues. There's a few classes in the game that just have infinite stamina and are as fast as Musa, whereas Musa doesn't have that, so I have made a solution to deal with that in a way. It's going to allow you to fight Zerkers, but it's still going to be a hard matchup for you. So, unfortunately, the reality is when you're fighting, you know, certain classes, you got to play the catch game. You know, if you're fighting a grab class that has infinite stamina like Zerker or Warrior, you can't just sit there and SA trade. You're going to get grabbed and die. So, you're pretty much always on the back chase trying to kite and get your engage in. And at one point, you're going to be put in a time limit where your stamina goes out, right? Because also a lot of our skills consume stamina as well. So it puts Musa in a pickle, and if you get slowed, it's really annoying. So what you guys need to learn is the infinite mobility loop that I've created. Essentially, when you do the infinite mobility loop, it should allow you to kite people and regain your stamina. It is a process though, so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be chasing and crosscut. So chase, crosscut, chase, crosscut. And you can see how I'm rotating my camera to mimic myself going forward. So I'm going to mimic myself going forward in this path here, right? So the goal is this is to create distance. Now, what I will say is when you're out of stamina, you need to be very careful of range CC. Like, make sure you're looking at your opponent and you're trying to bait out if they do a range CC. Like if it's a Zerker, an Awakened Zerker, or an Archer, or like a warrior trying to throw a black spear at you, be very reactive to block, because this movement is going to be unsafe. Okay, now the movement combo is you're going to start with crosscut chase like this. Now once you get this down, you're going to add Fiery Angel to it, right? So Fiery Angel, as you can see, regens your stamina. So here's my stamina bar. Now here's the movement, right? You can see my stamina is currently going up, right? That's a process, but this is how you're gonna have to deal with those infinite stamina classes. Now they're gonna bitch at you for running, but too bad. You know, that's what we have to do to win, and it is what it is. You know, unfortunately, we're not like dumb grab classes that just have infinite iframe or infinite mobility. We don't have that luxury, so we have to play like this. Now, the other thing is that you can add extra movement to that mobility loop with one step back. Now, use this very sparingly. Like, if your opponent is very close to you, you want to hit them with Fiery Crevice and then one step back, and then you're going to backstep chase like this. The same mobility loop. So if they're not close to you, you can just add one step back after Fiery Angel like this, and you can keep the movement going, and you can move like this forever, pretty much. Like, you just gain stamina, and it's how we can kind of deal with that issue. Now, the only class that's going to really be able to keep up with you is two. It's going to be, actually there's three. It's going to be Kunoichi, Zerker, and Warrior. Now, what you do to get the edge on them is right when they get close to you. So let's say like I'm kiting doing this movement, and the Zerker is like right here. When he's right here, you want to hit confirm the Fiery Crevice and one step back and SA trade for the movement debuffs, and then you should be able to get out. Alternatively, you can E-buff, make some distance, and then do the Tiger Blade thing, but these are some options that I have made that have helped solve this issue. Obviously, the most important setting is go to your settings, interface, action hotkeys. You're looking for this evasion WW, bind to something comfortable. You're going to press that WW key and LMB, and you're going to cancel your chase. Very important to have that, obviously, so you can chase quicker. As far as your cancels, guys, goes, there's not very many that you need to really know, but for the most part, just know how to do forward blind thrust as one of your engages. Pretty much, you got to slash the air, and then you do forward space bar, so like this, right? When that's done, you can also do Rising Storm into that as well. So for example, C-swap. Good cancels is you can do Fiery Crevice one step back. It flows nicely as well. You have Fiery Angel Spinner as the one cancel as well. You can cancel the first hit of Eradicate with a back chase. You can cancel pretty much any skill with the Musa kit if you are about to get hit with counter assassination. So for example, if you're in large scale and you think you're about to get grabbed and you need to get out, and let's say you're in backflow, for example, you can go like this and just cancel out of it like that with counter assassination. So be wary of that. You can also do the auto crosscut and just cancel out of it too. Of course, with your stub, guys, what I recommend doing is just do evasive from now on for your first prime to get your first shot up, and then just back chase stub, of course, for your quickest cancel. As far as any movement cancels go, from distance, you want to get those range CCs off. You can go like this, just like that as well, also works. Another really nice flow is you cross cut to the left, projection comes out nicely, you can back chase. You can also do back chase projection, like that, right? A nice way to bait people and a punish when people come at you with Fiery Crevice. When they come at you, cross kick Q, Fiery Crevice, it flows very nicely. Obviously, you can mouse move Crust Crusher foul play. Go into backflow. If you guys want to do a really quick debuff without using Fiery Crevice, learn the crosscut Q cancel. It's really quick, but it's also very precise. So let's say my opponent is right here where this little pebble is. So what you're going to do is you're going to chase up, cross kick Q, back chase, just like that. And you're going to do it really quick. Now, once upon a time, this used to be a CC, but now it's more of a debuffing tool. So you're just going to go like this. Just like that. Another nice tool you guys can start using is what I call my follow-up cancels on someone who's already down attacked. So let's say you guys are following up on opponents that are down in large scale. I like doing a crosscut. I like doing a backflow Q cancel and a dash slash below the belt fire crevice combo. Cross crusher, foul play, backflow Q, dash slash below the belt fire crevice, one step back. That's what you guys are gonna start doing. Another really good, you know, sequence of cancels and combos you guys can start utilizing. If you guys are looking for nice combo flows, dash slash twister is very nice. Fiery crevice and I think it's called Inferno Slash is nice. Right after a twister, you can do Inferno Slash as well. So let's say you're doing a combo, dash slash twister, Inferno Slash is a very nice sequence. Also, you can do Inferno Slash into Crust Crusher. It also flows nicely. So you can also do something like this. Has a nice flow to it. So another thing you guys can start doing for pre-awakening floats. Let's say you got an opponent stunned and you're ready to kind of, you know, BM them. You just do kick, WF, like this, blind slash, dash slash. And then after the dash slash, you would do one step back, roll about, and fiery crevice. So pretty much the flow would look something like this. With all the cancels you guys have learned, your neutral catch game should start looking something like this. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and start getting some low end PVE. So by low end PVE, I mean spots like, you know, below the belt, one pack, cross cut around, backflow. Like you're literally going to be spamming cross cut on God. Like this is all you're going to be doing, like below the belt. You might fiery crevice a thicky pack over here. You're going to like Musa shout, like cross, like this is like all you're going to be doing. It's nothing crazy. You can, even if you want, you could just spam crosscut. There's nothing crazy about grinding in low-end areas. Alright guys, now in terms of what we're going to be using for our PvE high-end rotation, and I'm mostly going to be demonstrating this on Star's End. Pretty much wherever you grind, the PvE rotation I will be showing will be the same everywhere for Awakened Musa. So what you will be doing is you're going to, whenever you engage the mobs are pulled, you're going to do Rising Storm, forward blind thrust, and then you're going to go into debite, you're going to C-swap, you're going to Musa shout, you're going to do eradicate, dash slash, one step back. This is going to give you guys your full self buff rotation, and when that is done, you will melt the rest of the pack with below the belt, backflow, fiery crevice, one step back, crust crusher, and the whole pack will melt. And I'm about to go to Star's End to demonstrate this for you guys. Alright guys, very quickly, I'm just going to go ahead and demonstrate how to grind SE with that rotation I showed you guys. Hopefully that's enough of you guys to see the combo, but basically, you know, it's pretty simple. It's a really simple rotation. This is all you're going to be doing, pretty much. As you guys can see, the skill rotation I do, you maximize pretty much all your pre-buffs. The only unfortunate thing about Awakening is that you don't have any good pull for mobs, unfortunately. So it is a little tragic, but besides the no pulling factor, this should work well at pretty much every grind spot you guys do in the game. Very easy rotation to do. Right, so your PvP engages on the Awakening. So, you got Fiery Crevice spawn, you got your arrows, of course, so boom. Got your stub, you got your Rabam arrow, you got your Cyclone Slash, you got Projection Throw, you got Forward Blind Thrust, you got Air Grapple Mouse Move, you got Dash Slash. Those are pretty much going to be all of your main catches you guys are looking for. Alright, as a heads up guys, for the Musa Awakening combo portion, I have my AP off. I'm just demonstrating the combos. Enjoy. Alright guys, so here's going to be your prime SA trades you are going to be looking to do on the Awakening Musa. Now for the Succession Musa, my boys. Let's start up with the hotbar. For the hotbar, you want Prime Eye of the Storm. I like to have Crust Crushers for the CD. I'm not actually casting it from there. We just have Prime Backstep Slash for the CD as well. I have Storm Slash, the Rabam Arrow. I like to have Tiger Blade. And for the cooldowns I like to see as well, I like to see Gale, Evasive Stub, Chase, Stub Arrow, and Arrow Grapple. For the movement in Succession, of course we have our Chase. We saw the Chase animation cancel as discussed earlier. And we now have even more movement. So, with the reworks, Gale was buffed and can be casted from back Chase now as well. So if you have blue buff up, you can now do Gale as well. Now, which is something that's really nice to know, is that you can cancel Divider after Gale, and then you can do Shift F into Arrow Grapple, which looks like this. As you can see, it's a lot of movement. As well as that, you have your Q plus E cancel to help you conserve some stamina, but it's very mana heavy, so be careful. Other than that, you pretty much want to do Fiery Angel off the get-go. If you have all your CDs available, you can do a pretty crazy movement combo. For example, Suck Musa can really move. Also, don't forget that you can do the Fiery Angel kick into Arrow Grapple as well. And of course, your staple movement, just the Q block. Nothing else is going on here. That's what you should be doing. All your Gale cancels, so for example, D-Bite Gale, forward blind thrust Gale, backstep slash Gale. You got back chase Gale. You got Fiery Angel Gale. We have Gale into Divider into Blind Slash. Just like that, and then you're gonna Blind Slash. So for example, get a little bit of extra damage because Divider is now a CC. D-Bite, Gale into Crush Crusher, Backstep into Gale, or Retaliation. Both work. And of course we got Backstep into Arrow Grapple, which is really nice to be honest. And of course you got Back Chase into Carver. Okay guys, to low end Musa PVE, and I'm not joking, try it yourself if you think I'm memeing. If you're ever grinding like Cadres or into lower end spots, you literally just do this. So if you look, Cyclone Slash has a really big hitbox. Like if you look here, you can see the hitbox is kind of big. So when you go around grinding, you're just doing this. And you will be the fastest grinder in the entire game just doing this. That's all you have to do for grinding in lower end zones. For higher end zones, we have to do a bit of a pre-buff combo, and then we either start spamming Gale or you start spamming Cyclone Slash. Now it really depends on the grind spot you're in, whether if the mobs are more tanky or less tanky. I suggest experimenting with both, but you are going to be pulling STR and competitive trash with this. So basically, let's say this is a pack. We're going to walk up. We're going to do D-Bite, forward blind thrust to start, just to get the critical hit rates going. When that's good, you're going to cancel into Gale, so like this. Then you're going to do Cyclone Slash. You're going to do Rising Storm Blaze to get every mob pulled into you. You're then going to do Crush Crusher. Okay. And then you're going to backstep behind them. And then you can pretty much choose to start doing, you know, like I said, Carver spam. Or you can start doing your Divider spam. So that's just you maintaining blue buff and doing blooming. Or you can start doing your blooming spam, which is just you maintaining blue buff and spamming blooming. But doing this tactic, you're going to pull S tier trash, so it looks like a little bit like this. So you look something like that, or it'll look like this. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the Musa Succession PVE. So I'm going to do the Cyclone Slash pull that I was talking about, and then we're going to debuff the pack right there, so watch. As you can see, we have very insane grind speed. Like, I wasn't joking when I said that, right? And I hope this was a good enough demonstration on how cracked SUCC Musa is in PvE, because it really is.